If you're a short girl trying to grow your glutes, you've probably been told to just eat more and lift heavy. I did that, and while my glutes did grow, the rest of me did too. I ended up bulky, puffy, and super uncomfortable in my body, which is not the effect that the gym is supposed to have on you. If you've ever looked in the mirror and thought, I'm working so hard, but why don't I look the way I want to, then this video is exactly what I wish somebody had told me earlier. Today, I'm gonna show you exactly what I changed from nutrition to training that helped me grow my glutes while staying lean at the same time. The first part of the equation is nutrition. When you're on the shorter side, your maintenance calories are naturally lower, which means your surplus doesn't need to be huge. A small change in weight shows up so much faster on our bodies, so the goal isn't to grow as fast as possible, it's to grow strategically. Most of the time, it's just about taking the same meals you already love and slightly adjusting the portions. I keep things simple: whole, nutrient-dense foods that make me feel good, like these pre-workout oats. Carbs for energy, protein to build muscle, and fats to keep me full. I started by cutting back a little to lower body fat, and then I slowly raised my calories to just above maintenance for a lean build. The hardest part wasn't the food, it was the mindset. I had to unlearn that all or nothing mentality. Just because you're eating more doesn't mean you need to eat everything. Moderation is just as key in a building phase as it is in a fat loss phase, maybe even more. Once I started eating for my size and not copying other people's meal plans, I finally started to look like I actually work out. But dialing in my nutrition was just the first part. The real transformation started when I learned how to train for my body. This is the second half of the equation: training. I used to think that quantity was more important than quality. I'd burn out all my energy on warm-up sets, train more than 4 sets per exercise, and more than 7 exercises per session, thinking that if I did less, I'd lose progress. But the truth was actually the opposite. It reached a point where I physically couldn't push myself in the gym at that frequency, so I stopped overdoing the volume and started focusing on intensity and recovery. I went from 3 leg days a week to just 2 with 4 to 5 exercises per workout, but I pushed way harder. And I finally started seeing real muscle growth and shape. I also stopped copying influencer splits and built something that worked for me. Now I choose every exercise based on 3 things. 1, does it take me through a full range of motion? 2, can I progressively load it? And 3, does it feel good for my anatomy? Now I always lead with a hinge, either a heavy hip thrust or a glute bridge to load my glutes in their shortened position. I finally got a machine. I literally always feel so freaking awkward standing around and waiting for a machine. I'm gonna do some hip thrusts on here, and I'm gonna show you how I adjust it when you're a short person. So you're actually supposed to have these on your shoulders. I don't really care about that. What I more care about is having this back pad under my shoulder blades. So I want to be able to push up into a 90-degree angle bridge with my knees here. I never want my feet to be too far away, and I don't want them to be too close to me. Come down into a hinge, keeping the core tight and pressing all the way up through the heels into a tight glute bridge at the top. Basically, I'm just gonna start with no weight and work my way up, making sure to focus on form all the way up to my working weight of 8 to 10 reps. This is also your reminder that it's okay and totally normal to not know how to use every machine. Like, I actually don't know how to use this machine, but I'm trying to raise this back pad a little bit because I want it to be more of like a real hip thrust and less of a glute bridge. But I literally don't know how to use this machine, so I might just be leaving it where it is. These work your glutes at the top of the movement when the muscle is fully contracted, so make sure you fully lock out when you squeeze at the top. This is also your reminder that you'll have different weights on different machines. So for example, I can put on 45s on my home gym hip thrust machine, but here I can only put 25s, and that's still like really challenging for me. So don't expect to load the same weight on every machine that you're using, because they'll all be a little bit different. I used to think that more weight on this exercise was automatically better, but actually once I started focusing on balance, lifting heavy and keeping glute engagement, that's when my physique really started changing. we're gonna do some RDLs here. So I'm gonna take off my shoes because that's like a must for doing RDLs, just because then you get a better mind-muscle connection. And I'm on the Pit Shark machine. So this machine can be used as like a belted squat. I'm placing 2 plates under my feet so that I can get a better range of motion. And I'm gonna connect a bar to this carabiner right here. For short people, if I weren't to put these plates under my feet, I would not be able to get the correct range of motion from the movement. Legitimately just almost broke the machine. It's like so freaking embarrassing. Oops. I think of these like a standing hip thrust. I keep my weight in my heels, a soft bend in my knees, and really sit my hips back to lengthen the glutes. If you're short, this is another one where setup matters. Make sure the bar path can actually go down to mid-shin, not mid-thigh, so that you can get that full stretch without losing tension. Once your hips can't go any further back, engage your glutes to hinge back up. No need to go any deeper or else your low back will take over. I'm doing a single leg press on this leg press machine. I really like this one because if you scoot the seat all the way up to the front, it allows you to get all the way into a super deep glute stretch, which is like the key to glute growth. The 2 legs are separate, so you are pressing only from the leg that you're using with the movement. The closer forward you can be and the more of a deep stretch you can get, the better. My knees are literally all the way jammed up against it because if you don't do this and you're my height, you're just not gonna have the right range of motion and you're not gonna be able to get the most out of the movement. This single leg press lets me load each leg separately without worrying about balance like I would in a lunge or a step up. I keep my foot mid to high on the platform and think about driving my knee out while pressing through my pinky toe and heel. That combo keeps the tension in my glutes instead of in my quads. I do higher reps here, 12 to 15, to focus more on engagement and control. Next up, our first isolation move, cable kickbacks. I like setting the cable all the way to the ground so I can keep my torso steady and actually feel my glutes rather than my low back taking over. For these, I focus on control and holding that squeeze at the top for a full second before lowering. It's normal to feel these a bit in your base leg, but as you get more experience, you'll start to be able to engage your working glute more and more. And finally, I like to finish with a hamstring focused movement, something like seated leg curls. I used to totally neglect these, but honestly, your hamstrings tie the entire posterior chain together. They make your legs look balanced and help your glutes look fuller from the side. I used to overthink my split and constantly switch it around, but once I started mastering the basics, hinging, pushing, isolating, and finishing with hamstrings, my lower body started growing in all the right places. This is your sign to go back to the basics and get even better at them. What are you currently doing and how can you adjust and improve?
Guys, there's literally a posing room at this gym.
As short girls, our growth doesn't come from pushing extremes. It comes from learning patience, consistency, and what your body actually responds to.